Knock, knock. Is anybody... Whoa! Professor Manuela!
I heard a scream coming from here just moments ago. It must have been Professor Manuela.
She's unconscious. She was clearly attacked by someone.
Hey, it kind of looks like Professor Manuela is pointing at something.
So we follow where she's pointing and...
Of course I give...
What do we have here?
I just realized, like, Claude's gonna have to leave this mission.
What is the meaning of... Wait, is that Manuela? What happened here? We must take her to the infirmary immediately.
Tetris 99's new mode is interesting because it separates out the elites from the main mode. So, is that an optional thing? Like, do you have to play Invictus mode if you've won before? Or is it an optional thing?
Right. Hold down the fort for me, Teach. I'll be back once we get Professor Manuela taken care of.
It's an optional thing. Okay. Because I was planning on doing something Extra Life related leading up to the marathon involving Tetris 99, but if I have to play it in Invictus mode all the time, that might change how the parameters of this program I had in mind worked.
Right.
And Ian says, I originally thought Claude left this mission because I forgot to get to the cutscene by going to Jaritza's room. Naturally, I know now this isn't the case, but I was kicking myself for not doing that at the time.
Don't be a coward, Ignatz. We'll be fine, as long as we stick close.
Oh.
You're right. What should we do?
We've got to investigate. Lead the way, Professor.
The culprit could be hiding inside, so let's be extra cautious.
Yeah, Extra Life is coming up faster than I think.
Creepy down here.
It
smells
it'll be
funny.
on November 2nd. We'll be streaming for 25 hours straight.
They're unconscious.
Unconscious. Uh-oh. Okay, we'll talk about Extra Life in a sec.
Yes, it's Flayn. Oh, but there's someone else too.
Someone is coming. That's Scythe. Could it be the night we fought at the Holy Mausoleum?
That sword. You must be. One of us will die. The other will live. I will enjoy this dance of damnation.
Alright.
My thank you so much.
Oh, what was I gonna say?
I have gratitude.
Oh, Extra Life, yes. November 2nd,
Thanks.
Saturday, November 2nd. We're probably going to start around 9 a.m. this
Thank
year. We started at 8 a.m. last year. Probably going to start at an hour later. Just to give me a little more time to set up. It is a pretty big operation getting the Extra Life stream going upstairs. I have to move all the computers, all the game consoles, the games, build everything up. Is there not a set start time? Technically, no. I think actually last year they said like Extra Life is advertising starting at 8 o'clock, which is why I started at 8 o'clock. I think we're gonna start at 9 just to give me a little more breathing room and give you guys a little more time to get in. And so yeah, I've put out the request to the squad if they're going to be available again to participate this year. It's going to be Party at My House. We'll be streaming it the entire time. There'll be a lot of different games we're playing, all in support of Extra Life. I actually got the new... If you look at the Twitch channel below, there's actually the thermometer below with my progress so far, which is not great. It's only $5. But starting on the 25th, we will be advertising Extra Life stuff non-stop here. I've got the... I actually have... Some of the stuff is ready to go. Like, I've got the bit.ly link in the corner over here. With the tracker and all that. That's going to be going up. And there's a Tetris 99 related thing that I'm not quite ready to talk about just yet. Hope you can find a new night shift person. Yeah. Randy, you were the MVP last time doing that night shift. I'm not exactly sure who that's going to be yet. I would like to take it, but I feel like then I would need to get rest before then. But then, like, those are like primetime hours too, so I was so looking forward to doing it this year. I know. Actually, should I have Petra in here? Like, Petra's gonna be better than Cyril, but Petra's not gonna stay on my team, and I would rather have him learn than Petra. Okay, yeah, we'll do that. Who do I want to send this way, though? Maybe Hilda? Okay, we're gonna do Ignatz as the archer. And I think Sylvain. Yeah, I'm gonna need Raphael up here. That's what we'll do. And let's see how that works.
Professor, we need to defeat the Death Knight and then
And so yes, the big marathon's going to be on November 2nd, but if you feel like donating now, that would be greatly appreciated. The link is below in the Twitch channel, and you'll get a nice notification on the screen here and everything, and kids cheering and all that. Alright. Let's get this show on the road here. Finally doing some fighting, jeez.
Stay focused. I'm on it.
Wow, someone died right here.
Ready anytime.
All right.
Who, me?
Okay, so Hilda would get clipped here.
Who, me?
Ooh, definitely don't want that.
Leave it to me.
Send her here.
Let's get to
Send Leonie over here.
Ready when you are.
And here. Back to the Nintendo Direct. One more time. Overall, did you guys think that this was a good showing? I thought this was pretty strong. They showed some new stuff. Actually, pretty good amount of new stuff that we didn't know about yet. I mean, lots of ports, but at this point, like, the more the merrier. Some of those games are kind of old. Like, Xenoblade as a finale was kind of weird, because that's like a really old game. That should have been somewhere in the middle and not the finale. But I thought overall it was a pretty strong showing from Nintendo. And when I think about what the lineup looks like in the immediate term, I'm just like, whoa, there's so much. And I'm pretty much not buying anything for the other platforms for the rest of the year. I could keep myself busy with just Nintendo Switch stuff between now and the end of the year.
I did it! I did!
I mean, that's neither a good or bad thing, it's just a thing, and that's probably how I'll lean. I think, so, like, what are the big releases on PS4, Xbox coming up? Like, Death Stranding, I don't really care about that one, and I totally didn't prepare Cyril for this fight at all.
I stand ready.
Yeah, Death Stranding. Oh. Randy says, being spoiled about Overwatch and Terry took a lot of the excitement from the presentation. Yeah, those would have been huge had we not known about those announcements. And unfortunately, those got leaked in advance, so. Still great news, but the excitement of those definitely got watered down. And Terry Bogard would have been like a really out of left field choice as well. Well, it was an out of left field choice, but it would have been more exciting to have not known about that in advance.
guess it worked out. I guess.
We'll send that over. Oh, Cyril, you're so useless right now.
You were outmatched. I don't have.
I was trying to think about like Nintendo and Nintendo Direct and the idea of I had this idea of like writing a post about the best and worst Nintendo Directs. But that would require a lot of research. Like off the top of my head, I can't just sit here and recite like, "Oh yeah, this one Direct that had this, this and this." Or this other one. Like I'm sure I know there are some good Directs and some bad Directs, but off the top of my head, I couldn't tell you which ones were good and which ones were not. Oh, nice. Good dodge, Marianne. Generally speaking, though, I love the Nintendo Direct as a... I mean, like, really, it's a commercial. Let's be real here. But the idea of getting every couple of months, Nintendo just drops these big announcements, like just a whole bunch of different gaming news. It's like having E3 every other month or something like that. It's neat, and I like having that information flow. Versus just waiting, or like getting all of this stuff piecemeal, or like one shot in E3. Just having more of a... Getting that stuff at a more consistent flow is really nice.
Won that.
Get him, Raphael.
Huh.
I remember when Nintendo did its first Direct at E3, and everyone took it as them cheaping out on a conference. Yeah, Nintendo was playing 4D chess on that one. They thought, oh, they're just saving money, not being there, and it ended up becoming like a core part of their strategy, where the Nintendo Direct is a huge part of the experience of being a Nintendo fan and being a video game fan. Like, Nintendo is the best. Like, Microsoft and Sony have tried to copy it, and they have their own versions of those shows now, and they're not nearly as good. And not just in present, like, and not even just in, like, the value of the news that they are distributing, but just the presentation's not there, the excitement, the... Nintendo Directs are basically advertisements, but they don't feel like it. And they come off as like, it's content. It's content that I really want to see and experience. You were about to say the same thing. It used to get knocked and everyone is now doing it. Yep. It was smart. It's weird, like, at times Nintendo is just so behind the times, and in other ways they are light years ahead of everybody else. I just wish like they could pull it all together. Maybe someday. Okay, I'm gonna assume that Hilda's gonna be able to take this hit. I could be wrong though, and this could backfire horribly. Oh, we could silence that guy? Yeah, we'll silence him. Because why not? It seems like such a waste of time now to fill an auditorium with journalists just to show off games. I mean, there's a little more going on than that. Like, they get to try the stuff out right after and things like that. But you're right. If it's strictly a matter of distributing news to the people that need to hear it, the journalists can get it just as fast through a direct as they can from inviting them all out to the event. That said, I think it's always been a dream of mine to go to E3, and I would love to do that someday still. Even
I'm a bit
if
uneasy.
it's kind of pointless.
Who knew?
Sure, they get to try out the games after they leave the auditorium. But even then, like, just release the demos. Send the iron sword out. Yeah, the auditorium is part of the wasteful part. Yeah, this is true. We don't really need it anymore, but it would be exciting to be part of that. Oh, geez. Nope, definitely not using... Oh, wow. This guy gets messed up bad.
Whoa, look at those. I'm not setting a.
Yeah, we'll send those gauntlets out. Who needs the XP? Cyril, can you do anything here? Nope. Nope, of course you can't. Marianne, how about you?
I'm really sorry.
I think when we talk about E3 presentations, I think, was it the Wii Music one for Nintendo was the worst. I remember being so sad as a Nintendo fan watching that E3 and just feeling like, what happened to the Nintendo I used to know and love? This is not what I signed up for at all. And I think that one had like Shaun White too with the Wii balance board, and he was snowboarding and
Naturally.
it was tough. I think some of the other worst ones, I think it was also the PlayStation 3, where they revealed the PlayStation 3 and the giant enemy crabs and Ridge Racer and all that stuff. And $599 US. Oh. The worst one I can think of in recent memory. I mean, this isn't even that recent. The Xbox One reveal was atrocious. That really set the system up for failure. Pretty much from that point on. I was ready to completely ignore the PlayStation 4 because the Xbox 360 was my go-to platform. And I had a PlayStation 3. I didn't use it much. But when the Xbox One, they revealed it, and all they kept talking about was TV, sports,
That worked out.
and pretty much anything other than gaming, I went, oh no, what have they done? I really hope they turn this around, and it took them a really long time to do it, and it was too late. It was already too late. I mean, they've turned it around in the sense that they have the most powerful console in the Xbox One X. I don't know if it's outpaced the Xbox 360, but it's selling well. It's just not putting up PS4 numbers, which is, unfortunately, its direct competitor, and now one of the greatest selling systems of all time. Ooh, I'm not gonna get a good clean hit on this guy unless I burn the Sword of Creator. And they dodged it too. I like that Sylvain just has one archer with him. Clearly I did not replenish my battalion. If you're just tuning in, I'm Jet from InThirdPerson.com, a personal look at video games, board games, other nerdy pursuits. We're talking about the Nintendo Direct, playing some Fire Emblem as well. And I guess, yeah, just kind of deviated into some of the best and worst conferences of all time. One of my favorites, if you can find it on YouTube. I remember reading about it in video game magazines. The successor to the 3DO was this console called the M2. And magazines were hyping this thing up forever as being like the second coming. Actually, I'm gonna wait here. It had so much press at the time as going to be the future of video games, more powerful than anything we've ever seen from any of the other platform holders. And you can find the presentation, the actual E3 presentation on YouTube right now, and it's strikingly different from anything that happens now. It was literally a bunch of executives in suits at a hotel ballroom, and they just ran through a PowerPoint presentation. And that was it. Like, it was very formal, and it was something else for sure. And it's funny seeing what they touted as being the most powerful console in the world at the time, because it certainly doesn't look like that now. To be fair, that was a long time ago. But oh, why is Lysithia got a bow? I don't remember giving her that.
Perfect comprehension.
Man, going on this tangent now, like, I loved buying, and this was a very short stretch of time, I loved buying the E3 editions of magazines. This is before the internet. Dating myself again, but before the internet, E3 would happen, and you got that news a month later from the magazines when they had time to come back and write about that stuff. And that magazine was always the biggest one. Well, okay, it was the biggest or the second biggest one. Christmas was usually the biggest one, but they had all the previews in there, and I was like, oh my goodness, these are the games that I'm going to buy and look forward to for the next 2 years. Man, just the whole media experience with video games has changed so much. Can Marianne take a hit from whatever that archer is? I'm gonna say yeah. I trust in Marianne. You got this, right?
I can't afford to lose.
Like, the cycle of video game news and reviews. Like, at this point, I see hundreds of news stories a day. And, like, that's not even me, like, using Twitter to follow news and stuff. Or you just get that stuff a mile a minute. And back in the day, I was buying magazines. And you'd get those, like, once a month. Well, you would buy... I think we can trade the steel sword. That's okay. Yeah, you get the video game magazines. There were 5 or 6 publications. There was your Game Pro, your EGM, your Game Fan, EGM2, a couple of other ones. And you'd buy them and you'd read those magazines again and again and again. Actually, yeah, it's fine. And so I read those magazines for, like, I read them so many times, and even if, just because, like, that was the thing, that was the content, that was all I had, and I enjoyed reading those articles again and again and again. And for me now, like, I see that news story once, the first person reported to me, I take that, and then I'm not seeing anybody else's version of that again, and I don't care. I read my 3 free issues of Nintendo Power so many. I read my 3 issues of Nintendo Power so many times. Yeah, I think I still have a couple of issues kicking around here. I like newer ones. I think I have the EGM launch issue where they reviewed the Wii versus the PS3 versus the Xbox 360. I have the EGM. I think they did like the top 100 games of their time. And a couple of other ones. Most of them I threw out. No, it would have been nice to have those now. And Lysithia hoarding all the keys. Who needs to open that door? Okay. Yeah, give me a door key.
Well done.
Yeah, at this point, video game magazines are pretty much dead. Like, all you can... There's a handful that exist, and I think a lot of them are more long-form, editorial in nature. And I think that's fine. That's probably the right way to do it. At this point. Yeah, those were the days. I feel very nostalgic about video game magazines as a medium, but there really isn't much of a point to them anymore. Oh man, Hilda's gonna get blown up. Everyone's gonna get blown up here. I don't like this setup at all. Eee, that's not good either. Okay. What were your favorite video game magazines growing up? When I think back of the ones that I really cared for, I loved EGM. That was my favorite. I think I enjoyed the writing. I enjoyed the 4-person reviews and just getting different perspectives on those games meant a lot. And I loved Quarterman as well with the rumor section. Although I've heard now that at times they did just make stuff up in those sections. Eee. I'm scared here. I think my squad's gonna get blown up really bad. But I think I want to take 1-1-1 rather than Raphael eating all of it. So let's do that. Nice. Okay, that didn't turn out too bad. EGM was a big one. I liked Die Hard Game Fan. I hear a lot of people throw shade at that magazine nowadays. At the time, I really liked it because they had the best pictures. They had the best screenshots of anyone at the time. And they also had a lot of original art as well, which I really liked. A lot of hand-drawn stuff, and they had their mascot with the screen on his head. Randy says, EGM was probably my favorite, but I like Nintendo Power too. I feel like I would have had more of an attachment to Nintendo Power if I grew up with it. But that was a magazine we didn't get till really late. And they didn't have it on the newsstand here. I think you had to subscribe. So I didn't see it until you started getting it.
Thank you.
And by then, like, we had the internet, and the luster, the appeal of those magazines was not the same.
I'll celebrate later.
GamePro was okay. GamePro was the very first video game magazine I ever got. And I'll never forget it. It
You
was
lost to me?
my birthday in, I think, 1993. And my friend Fez got me, for my birthday, a Toronto Blue Jays hat. It was my first, I think it was a Toronto Blue Jays hat, and a copy of GamePro, and it was a Street Fighter 2 Turbo cover on it, and it had a bunch of Street Fighter combos and strategies in it as well. And yeah, I read that thing over and over again. I didn't even have Street Fighter at the time, and I wasn't into it like that back then, but I read that stuff, and I like basically studied it, even though I just wasn't playing Street Fighter like that at the time.
Let's do this.
EGM 2 I didn't really read. That was more like strategy guides. Tips and tricks. Oh man, I forgot about that one. Like, even just the concept of tips and tricks, like, you can't... That's not a magazine anymore. That's not even a website anymore. There are no tips and tricks. It's now... Spend money on this loot box.
I call that a win.
While we're here, let me take
Gotta
a
keep
moment to send some thank yous out to people. Let me just go take a quick look at this list. Just want to give a shout out to everybody hosting the channel this evening. So shout outs to jsick06, Jason, of course, over at downstab.com. Thank you so much for hosting the channel. Man, I've known Jason now for a long time. Just waxing nostalgic now. We met each other through our WordPress blogs, like roughly 9 years ago. And we actually got to meet IRL a couple years ago in Vegas. We just happened to be there at the same time. And it's awesome. We did the podcast together and do Boss Rush together as well. So shoutouts to Jason. Twitch.tv/jsick06. Shoutouts to Later Levels. Twitch.tv/Later Levels. Kim and Phil, they run one of my favorite gaming blogs online. And I read their site all the time. And so yeah, I know Kim streams regularly. So yeah, definitely give her channel a look, especially if you like point and click style adventure games, which every time I tune into her channel, that seems to be what she's streaming more often than not. Does Ignatz have the key? Yeah, he's got the
Ready anytime.
Shoutouts to Too Tall For You Fool, Justin, of course.
So you have come.
Over at tootallforYouFool.com. He's been starting to ramp up his streaming stuff as well. of course, our relationship is complicated in light of a certain basketball player leaving my team for his, and I will forever bring that up because it's going to be the reason why my team is going to be not as good for a very long time. And one more. Shoutouts to twitch.tv/xdoublejump. Shoutouts to Chris and Rachel. Of course. Do I have the button? We got... Which button are we going to hit this time? Oh yeah, that one. There we go. Shoutouts to both of them. I know Chris is heavily deep in her Fire Emblem 3 Houses playthrough. And of course, they've been a huge supporter of me for a very long time now, so shoutouts to twitch.tv/xdoublejump. Make sure to go and check out their website and their channel. Twitch.tv/xdoublejump and doublexjump.com. As we move forward,
I'm a bit uneasy. Huh? It worked out.
I wonder what that is. Looks like you can use it, but who knows what'll happen.
stab him. There we go.
Be gone.
What's next?
That's a crazy lance, by the way.
Guess I've gotten better.
I'm pretty sure I've had that in my other playthroughs. I just hadn't really looked at it until just then. Flip the switch. I can't remember which thing goes to where. Oh well.
Who, me?
Since we're on the subject, I mean, within the context of me playing Fire Emblem right now, is Fire Emblem your current game of the year?
Predictable.
I think for me it is. It was Tetris 99. It's been kind of a quiet year, to be honest, for me in terms of games I've been playing. It definitely looks like it's going to pick up in the back half of the year between Pokemon and
Ready anytime.
please tell me that's the... Hey, that's the one with the thing. Do I have the chest key, though? No, I do not. No one has the chest key. Amazing. Okay. Well, Ignatz is just going to guard that box. Actually, who has the chest key here? One of you guys does. Door key. Door key. Chest key. Oh, I need Lysithea, though. Okay, who can I... Cyril, you're useless. Let me give you this key. You've got an important job, kid. Wait. No, you have to take the chest key. And, yeah, give me the door key. Wait. And Ian says, I think with so much stuff coming out at the end of the year, it may be too soon to say. I would guess it'll end up being Fire Emblem, though based on my check notes, 140 hours of playtime so far. Yeah, where are you at right now? I saw screenshots. I believe you're now playing Black Eagles. And if you are, how's that going? And how did you find your Blue Lions play if you have wrapped that up? I would imagine you've wrapped that up at this point. My Blue Lions point, I have gotten to the battle at Garrigmach. I was actually... What sucks is I was in the middle of that mission, and I had to start the stream, and because you can't... You can bookmark it at best, but you can't, like, save it and then pick it up later. Like, start a new file and pick it up later, so I kind of lost that play, and I'll have to start again. Yeah, for me, I have a hard time seeing any game beat Three Houses. Like, the bit I've played of Link's Awakening, that's gonna be fun, but it's a remake, and I also have some technical concerns about it based on what I've seen so far. I'm guessing Nintendo will sort it out, but I don't think that's gonna be Game of the Year material. Luigi's Mansion looks really nice. I was watching Nintendo Prime yesterday, and he was saying that that game is a Game of the Year contender, and I don't... I am reluctant to go that far, but Luigi's Mansion looked really nice from what I played of it at Fan Expo. The jump in graphical horsepower makes a big difference in that game, and it looks gorgeous.
Should have trained better.
And I don't know if Pokemon's gonna do it. Like, I'm just... Pokemon doesn't click with me like that, so... I don't foresee a reality where Pokemon Sword and Shield is going to be a legit Game of the Year contender for me. It'll be good, though. I'll play it and I'll enjoy it. And Ian says, I'm very early in my Black Eagles run, and I'm doing a weird kind of playthrough to write a guide, so we'll see how that goes. I enjoyed the Blue Lions. In some ways, I wish I had done that group before Golden Deer. There were certain aspects of that the story that I liked better. I will say, having seen some stuff now on the Blue Lions, the scene that happens just before this battle, I liked a lot. I think when Dimitri shows his true colors is definitely something, and a turning point for the story that I really enjoyed. Oh man, we're like an hour and a half in. We're probably not going to squeeze any more missions in. It's probably going to be we finish this up, we get some supports, we chat a little bit, and then we close it out. Ooh.
Allow me to demonstrate. Should I have held back?
Oh wait, Cyril was supposed to open the... Oh man, you had one job, bro. I forgot he had to open the door. Okay, it doesn't matter now. We're gonna finish off this guy and then that's it. Whew.
Plenty more where that came from.
Yeah, that was intense. His character arc is definitely interesting. He goes through a lot more change, whereas Claude is pretty consistent throughout. Yeah, the more I play the game, the Blue Lion side, the more I enjoy... more I enjoy Dimitri. I thought at first blush he was the most boring of the characters, but he definitely has stuff going on. And Edelgard is definitely the most divisive of the bunch. It was really interesting watching that particular reveal from the other side, like having played it as I'm going to stay with Edelgard versus not be on the other side of that. And it was really interesting how I perceive those things. I'm not going to go into spoilers too much, but...
You'll have more opportunities to play soon. Your work here is done.
Understood. I will go.
We will cross paths
I think by
again.
virtue of what
I
she
am
means to
Flame
the story
Emperor. It is I
and
who will
the way
reforge
things
the
branch
world.
out for her, she is definitely like a very interesting character, and not my
Emperor,
favorite,
eh?
but I
Seems
think there
quite
is a lot
frightened of
going
us,
on
if you
there.
ask me.
He's gone. We should get these two out of here.
I was so annoyed by the scene, I was setting everyone up to kill the Death Knight. I think you can do it.
Let's get out of this horrible place.
I think
Come
you
on,
just have
we
to
can carry
make
him out.
sure the Death Knight is not the last one standing. Or at the very least, you can attack him. MVP Ignatz. She had a really interesting quote at the end of the Blue Lion's run. I'm excited to see what she is like up close.
My, thank you so much.
Yeah, there's so much going on.
They're both alive.
You can defeat the Death Knight
Thank
in this match,
goodness.
but he escapes with his life either way. Ah.
You actually found Flane? Nice work.
It is a shame you could not be there, Claude. I would have liked for you to witness our mortal struggle against the Death Knight.
Hey, at least we managed to rescue Flane and complete our mission. That's what counts, right? Right. Excellent work, everyone. Now then, let's get these limp ladies to the infirmary, shall we?
No problem. I can carry them both at once.
Be gentle with them, Raphael. Let us carry each one individually. And slowly.
You know, Teach, seeing you smile sure makes me feel better. You look happy for
Oh,
a change.
Claude. Claude. I love you too, bro.
Do you really not know? Well, truth is, I've never seen you smile before now. At times, it made me wonder whether you were even human. But I suppose that was just my imagination running wild. Anyhow, we've probably kept Sedith waiting about as long as he can stand. Let's hurry up and tell him the great news.
Alright, once we get to the save point. Oh, wait, no, I want to...
Professor, please allow me to express my eternal gratitude once more. Flane is safe and sound, and I have you to thank for that. Mere words could never express how thankful I am. I am indebted to you. Yes, of course. I shall express my gratitude to the students as well.
I've got another big question. Big
The
question.
kidnapper was the
And you're
masked
probably not going
knight
to be
who
able to answer
vanished
this off the
during
top of your
rite
head,
of
but...
rebirth. The one known as the Death Knight. Considering the circumstances, it seems plausible to assume that his true identity is Yaritza. And we cannot forget about the mysterious Flame Emperor. His true motives are yet unclear. However, I have an idea. I believe the enemy may have been after Flane's blood. The blood that flows through her veins is special. It is extremely rare, and extremely dangerous. If enemies who know the secrets of Flane's blood have appeared, our only option is to leave the monastery and go into hiding.
Brother, wait.
Flane, what are you doing here? You should be resting.
I do not like the path of your thoughts. I do not wish to live in some...
And Ian says, ha, that's funny that the thing you said about me not being human. No way that's true, of course. That's just silly. Yep.
If we stay here, you may be targeted again. Wouldn't it be better for the two of us to live in peace?
Even if we ran off to some new, secret location, there is no guarantee that they would not find us.
Yep.
That is why I believe it would be safest to stay in the monastery, where we are surrounded by capable knights.
I see your point.
Sorry to cut you
I
off there,
do.
Flame.
However,
You know it is the only reasonable option. What if I were to join the professor's class? You think so too? I am so very pleased to hear that. With a professor like you nearby, I shall be safe no matter what foe should appear.
I see. I am afraid you have a good point. Professor, due to my position, I have closely scrutinized everything about you. After all that has happened, I must admit that you are
Oh,
indeed
sorry about that.
a trusted ally. I shall speak with the Archbishop immediately. Please, promise to look after Flame. She is all I have.
I am so glad that Flame is safe. Yet I can't help but wonder what the story is about that other girl. She wore the uniform of the academy. But who is she?
Give me that scarf.